to another episode of Spawn Trap Podcast, the only podcast that's worse at marketing itself than Google Stadia.
Nice.
I am joined by Court, and you're not on the screen for some reason, so let me figure that out. But
Rude.
But yeah, we'll figure that out. I think I need to stop my virtual camera. But hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
Mhm.
Making some lifestyle changes.
Nice.
So yeah, today's the day one of the rest of my life being healthy again.
Oh, I
So
think I figured it out. I was not broadcasting my virtual camera. That's what the issue was. When you said I didn't have my webcam on, you meant in general. I thought.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Well, you saw from the preview there, before Court was on the screen, the HBO logo, because Court wants to react to the Last of Us trailer. I've
Yeah.
already watched it a few times.
Yeah. This will be my first time.
Let me figure out where your camera is first.
Okay.
Let me is it turn off maybe? I don't know. We'll figure.
Okay.
Talk about while I figure this out. Talk about what you've been playing.
We've been playing Temtem, so that's been
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of fun. I feel like we need to really put in some hours though to get to, because the world is so big, and I feel like we've just scratched the surface just a little bit. And so I want to play more of that. I started back playing Digimon Survive,
Mm-hmm.
and it was pretty gory, but I
For a
was
Digimon
warned in
game?
advance. Yeah, Digimon Survive. I watched a dude get eaten by his Digimon.
What? Okay.
And yeah, and so it's kind of one of those things where I was told in advance, they're like, yeah, this is the chapter where things start to get real, and they did. And but yeah, I've been playing that. um and then we haven't really been playing scary games because I've been like busy on Tuesdays. Like it's kind of been up and down with the scary crew. But yeah, but that's what I've been playing. So yeah.
I'll be figuring out what scary games to play soon.
Yeah.
Because I like to do that during the month of October. One of those games was gonna be a Stadia game. I was gonna subscribe to Stadia Pro for a month because they had a free weekend, and I'm like, I think it's a Stadia exclusive. It might be out on Steam now, but I know it
Yeah.
was a Stadia exclusive. It was called Guilt. And I played a
Ooh.
little bit of it, and I'm like, this seems like a fun game for October. I'll subscribe to Stadia Pro for a month, and then Stadia's like, nope.
Mhm. Yeah, when do they go down? That's one of our topics
They went
too.
down a couple days ago, or I think
Oh,
yesterday. Actually, yesterday they went down.
I thought you would have had
No,
at least
sorry.
a chance.
The Stadia, the store and Stadia Pro subscriptions you can't get anymore. Those are down, but the actual Stadia service is still up until the end of January.
Okay.
So I know it's still up because I was playing Tomb Raider with Stadia last night. So there you go.
Excellent.
Yep. I think if you have Stadia Pro, from what I understood from what I read, you are stuck with Stadia Pro. Like you're not on an ongoing subscription. You're just stuck with that you're stuck with that subscription. You're not being charged anymore for like the following months. But I think you have it until the service closes. I might be wrong. That's from what I read. I couldn't really see any sort of clarification on that. I know I
Yeah.
can't sign up for it. So I kind of
They're
wish,
like, no more.
yeah, I kind of wish I just signed up for the month because I have games that are claimed through Stadia Pro that I can't access without a Stadia Pro subscription. So I just can't play those games. So I don't own those games anymore. But nobody's going to own the games that they bought anymore by the end of the service because everything's being shut down. That's the problem with cloud gaming is once it's gone, you don't have it
Digital
anymore.
games,
And
bye.
Google is, and on its own, like at the start, was a risk because they're known to do this. They're known to like start something and then quickly abandon it.
Yeah.
So that was always a risk. I did like the service. I thought it worked well more than other cloud gaming services that I've used, including Game Pass. Even playing Tomb Raider last night, there was a couple hiccups,
Yeah.
especially during like moments where there was like tons of explosions. But otherwise, it worked perfectly well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've always been an advocate for it. I don't know what other solution there is that's not the same as Stadia. I'd like to compare them, but
Quick question for you.
yeah.
Since you're like the Xbox Pass Pro, um, like,
Okay.
am I able to use this
That
even though I don't
is
have an Xbox? It's
Turtle
the
Beach.
Turtle Beach.
I
Yeah,
imagine
Turtle
it,
Beach Recon
I
controller
imagine it works for
wired.
PC.
Yeah, that's what I had a feeling that it was that I could use it for PC, but I was like, oh, like even if I can, if I have the
Just say
Xbox
on the
Ultimate
box.
though, it just
Most
says
controllers do.
Xbox. It just
Maybe it
says
is.
Xbox, and
Maybe it
it
is just
says
Xbox.
designed for Xbox.
I will say most Xbox controllers. I don't know of any Xbox controller that
Oh,
doesn't
Windows
work.
10.
There you go.
There it
Yeah.
is. There it is.
If you have Windows 11, it probably works on Windows 11 as well.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So this was a gift, and I might do a review on it, and
Okay.
then do a giveaway.
All right,
I
cool.
want this. Yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna watch the Last of Us trailer.
Yes. Yes.
I can't get audio share to work. I can't figure that out. So we're gonna hit play at the same time.
Yes. Ready?
Yep.
5. No, wait. We'll start from 3.
Okay.
3,
That's weird.
2, 1, play. You were too slow, man.
Yeah.
So I'll just react before you.
It's fine.
Actually, I'll just. I can see it in the Discord.
The grass in the valley is starting to die.
We're gonna get a copyright claim, by the way.
That's fine. This is. I'm really excited for this.
Have you played the game?
Yes. I feel like they picked really good, like, people for it too. It's a clicker. Chernobyl, ooh.
This is your chance. Our best shot. You keep her alive. And you set everything right.
Looks so good!
Save who you can save.
Oh, please understand.
That looks so good.
Right?
I'm
can't
excited
wait.
for that. It's gonna be great.
I might have to get an HBO subscription now.
Is it available in Canada? Because I'm not sure.
Yeah,
It is. Okay.
I had it before. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, so there's that.
Mhm.
I'm excited for that show. Cause like it just like the game in general was great. It was
yeah.
just it had a good story. You know, the second one was just like also like I really liked that one, and I know a lot of people hated on it, but I'm like no, like people kind of really what's it? Not like respected, but everyone loved oh now I'm like, oh shit, what's his name? Joel.
Yep.
And but like when you really look back, like he was kind of a dick, and like he
Oh,
like
yeah.
took down a whole like yeah, and people were mad that they killed it, or no spoilers, but if you haven't played it yet, come on.
Well,
But it's like-
it just got remastered, so
Yeah.
some people might not have played it, and they're just starting the
Yeah.
remaster.
Just bleep that out. But like the story just made so much sense, and then when you go into the other character's perspective, and then like that final fight against the two of them, like it was just because you've been with these characters for so long and everything. It was just a great game.
Mhm.
So
What games have I been playing?
yeah, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Temtem with you.
Yeah.
I'm on like so many devices now. Like, I'm just like hopping between games. Oh, I beat This is so weird. I beat Donkey Kong for the Game Boy.
Nice.
So I'm going through a Donkey Kong marathon on stream, and I've just been like playing through the games. I feel like I want to do that with like a bunch of franchises that I missed out on. Which, by the way, I just got like I think I got like all the original God of War games now. So
Nice.
play
Yeah,
through those.
that's like I kind of want to do that. Like,
Yeah.
or I want to play the one for the PS4 before I play the new one. But I feel
I'm
like
starting back on the PS2. That's where I'm going.
yeah,
Although
right. But
it's
I don't
remastered
think
for
I'm
the
gonna
PS3.
have the funds for it, and I still don't have a PlayStation.
Cost me
it's
so
just like-
the collection that I got, which was I think it's the original game for the PS2 and then the sequel. So like the remastered ones for the PS3, $10 on eBay.
Nice. Nice. I
there's,
mean,
like,
like there's retro gaming stores right around. I'll just go there.
Yeah.
I'll just go there.
Yeah, it's me. It's when I'm like in between breaks or when I'm bored, I look on eBay for like stuff I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like or like what kind of cheap games I can get, and because I'm starting to collect some stuff now. But I've been going through Donkey Kong games. I might do this with Kirby and Metroid because I haven't played all of those games either. But I've just been going through because I really wanted to play through and beat the Donkey Kong Country games because I've never done that. I've always like jumped in on them. I played a lot of the second game when they did a port on Game Boy. But I never actually like sat through and played through all the games. So I did that. I did Diddy Kong Racing, which our mod Red Wolverine helped me out with a lot.
You beat it?
I beat Diddy Kong Racing. I never beat it as a kid.
No way. When were you playing these?
I play them on Twitch. Like just like last minute. Hey, it's late at night. I
maybe
play
because it's
stuff
late at
before
night.
bed. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's late for me. It's not late for you.
Yeah. Oh, I guess.
But yeah, I just I loaded up Diddy Kong Racing, and that game is hard.
It is.
There's no reason it needs to be that hard for a kid's game.
I know. I never understood the difficulty level because it took us like we beat all the areas and stuff like that. And then what like remind me because you just recently played it, it's like we finally opened the mouth. We were always trying to fly in there with the airplane, and I was like, I'm gonna get in there, and it's like no you're not. But we finally beat all because you had to beat everything with the car, beat everything with the hovercraft, and then beat everything with the airplane.
You just have to beat all the levels. You have to get all the gold balloons for every level.
Yeah, and which is just super excessive. And then when you finally face the pig, what was his name?
Whiz Pig.
Yeah. Didn't you
Stuff in nightmares.
Didn't you have to beat him in all the courses again for the final one?
You only face him once.
Okay.
You only face him once. You have to play through every level twice. So first you have to play the race in first. Then you have to play it again in first, but you have to collect like 6 or 7 coins also.
Yeah.
And they're not like on the track, all of them. They're always like an inconvenient space outside of the track.
I appreciated. I like because
I did not.
that like that. Well, I know like it sucks, but it really got you where it's not just about speed. It's like they were putting in this just to fuck with you. You're like, you know what? You think you're just gonna.
But
just
there's
beat
also
everyone because you're
tricks.
quick?
Like I was learning through Red that there's so many tricks that you have to do to master that game. You have to once you hit a speed boost, you have to let go of the acceleration.
Yes, I was gonna ask you if you knew how to do that. And then you would get the green boost, right?
Yeah.
And that was a way bigger boost. And I remember we didn't know. And I think it was
I didn't know. I didn't know until I was streaming it. I'm like, wait, that's a thing?
Yeah, no, I remember it because that was the one thing because we had beaten it. We couldn't beat Whizpig, and our cousins who Two Taylor or Two Tays is one of them where he actually showed us like him. I think him and his siblings showed us how to beat Whizpig, and they helped us. They were like our gurus. We're like, how do we do this?
They got the Nintendo Power Guide.
Yeah. Oh, that was the thing too. Is that like I wonder if that's where they got their information from.
Probably,
because a lot of like the
There's no
the
internet.
tricks and stuff
Well, there was internet,
all
but
word
it
of
was-
mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like
right?
the game guides, like I forget the one. There was like one I always went to that was like filled with ads and pop-ups and probably
Cheat
viruses.
GG.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cheat GG. Yeah, I was on that all the
Yeah.
time. And then there was the Game Sharks too,
Mm-hmm.
that were a lot of fun. Especially I feel like the N64 one really made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I loved getting the levitation in Zelda and just fucking around. Oh, good times. Oh,
But
good
yeah,
times. Anyways.
I didn't know that there was a before the Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Land games, there was a Game Boy game called Donkey Kong, which was a continuation of the arcade game, the original arcade game. They put
Oh.
the original levels in that game. If you don't know, so you play as Mario. I'm sure you know the arcade game.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
play as
Yeah.
Mario in that game, not Donkey
Fistful
Kong.
of quarters.
Yeah, and you're trying to save Pauline. That's where Pauline comes from.
Oh.
And then after that level from the arcade, it just continues. There's a full overworld map. It's a puzzle platformer, and it's like there's like 9 worlds you have to beat, and you're facing like Donkey Kong and like all these different challenging puzzle platforming things.
Yeah.
And some of them are super difficult. Some of them are super easy, and it's not a progressive thing. It's like you could get an easy level or you could get a hard level. So that was really
Oh.
weird. And I was like, I had no idea this game existed. It was right up my alley. I'm like, this is what I want to play right now.
Yeah.
So super cool. And it was on Game Boy, the original Game Boy. But do you know about the Super Game Boy? It was
No.
a cartridge like adapter for the Super Nintendo. Some games you can pop in the Game Boy game into that adapter, and it enhances the game. So this game had full color, and it's like had a decorative border and everything. So I played the Super Nintendo version of this Game Boy game.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it was super cool. And now I'm going to be moving on to Donkey Kong 64 whenever I
was gonna
continue
ask
that marathon.
if you've played that one yet. That was a big one when we had to get the upgrade for the N64
Yeah.
in order
Oh
to
yeah,
play
yeah,
it.
the expansion pack.
Yeah,
That's
so,
where the Nintendo Switch Plus expansion pack got its name.
yeah, right.
Mhm.
Oh, good times.
Except it's spelled differently. I think it was PAK back then.
Yeah. I like the I hated the memory card system. Those
For the
stupid, like-
N64, you have to pop them in the bottom.
And the controller. I'm like, whose
The controllers,
idea
yeah.
was this?
Controller's terrible.
Right? Oh my goodness.
There's and beyond that, I don't think I've been touching my Xbox as of late. Which is I just haven't. I don't think I've been like gaming, like doing some serious gaming in general. I've been playing Pokemon Sword on my Switch because I want to beat that before the new games come out, and I want to the DLC specifically. I already beat that game. And just like random handheld games for like. That's just been my thing.
Yeah.
All I have time for.
I want to play super retro games like that. Like maybe play the Hamtaro game
Yeah.
or just like old school ones. But I would want to be able to enable cheats so then I can just like blow through it. If I were to play an N64 game,
Mhm.
I would play Mystic Ninja 64 and play through that. And my friend has it. I know she's like, I don't think I have it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you do because I don't have it here. And they've moved a bunch of times when I'm like, you have it and it's somewhere and I'm going to find it one day. And but that was one of those games where as a kid you didn't really understand what was going on
Mhm.
because you could barely read or you just forgot things and
Yeah.
stuff. But it was so you would think that it was a great game where you start off and you're Geomon or Gomon and you have to, I don't know, go to this palace of some sort or whatever, and then you get a friend, and then whatever happens they're like, you have to go to this next area. So you got to go and you got to like walk around in like these like authentic like Chinese like towns and stuff. Like they were super cool and very like detailed and everything. And you'd get the lucky cats to like level up or stuff like that. And then there was even Mount Fuji, and you had to go do this whole area and do like that whole map. And then you would continue, and then you met like a different character, and there was like the ninja girl, so she was really cool. And then there was like this little itty bitty guy in the next area, so like it would just like keep progressing and stuff like that. and you would gain like these characters, and you could swap them out and stuff like that, and play different ones in order to like figure out the puzzles.
Mhm.
So then, as an adult playing it, the storyline is the worst thing ever. It's about a alien improv group
Wait, what?
that want to yeah, that want to perform
Okay.
for for Earth and stuff. But Geomon's like, no, and they just want to put on a good show.
Oh, that's weird.
And they think they keep like taking over areas, and that's why Geomon's like, stop it, and like prevents it from happening. But they just want to perform. They just want to give Earthlings the best show ever.
I'm trying to
And
bring
that's
up.
the fucking plot. And I was like, what the fuck? I like playing it going, really? Like this is it? This is what this game was? I thought I was gonna have this cool, just like this mythology of, you know, all the cool shit of like rich in the history of like you know, China or Japan or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like so stoked for it, and I was like, the fuck is this shit?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was it was like out of left field, man.
I would
And
like
they had
to.
a second one that came out too.
I would like to discuss with you ideas on
Ideas?
revisiting or just visiting retro games, just going through the games that we might have played or
Yeah.
might have missed. Because if you're down to go through retro games, like I am too. Like I wanna
Yeah.
visit all the stuff that I've missed growing up.
Yeah,
So
right.
I think that
Even-
could be potentially an idea that we can make something with.
Like, you ever play this game, man?
What game is that?
Mischief Makers.
No, I haven't. No.
So good. It was just anime.
I think I just
And
bought
that's what put me into the, well, aside from Dragon Ball Z, but that threw me into
Yeah.
all of that.
I
There
just
was
bought
that.
I just bought the Star Wars racer game. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. I just bought that on eBay.
I have
which
that
was-
game.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the more popular games on the N64, and it was only like $13. Like I got like an offer. Sometimes I'll just like favorite games on eBay. I'm like, that's too much money. I'm gonna favorite it, because sometimes the sellers be like, hey, got an offer for you, and I'm like, okay, cool, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
So
You're like, I will take this.
yes, I just bought that. I own the port on Switch already. I don't know, but I wanted to
Oh,
buy the cart.
nice.
I wanted to buy the cart, so yeah, I have that.
I would definitely love to play like N64 games that I couldn't complete, because remember, you only had a weekend, or at least I did. That's like,
Yeah,
that
you
was
would rent the
my parent. You
games
had
and
3 days.
Yeah,
The 3 days. So every Friday we would go to Blockbuster. We would rent the
Mhm.
game. So I would have a weekend to try and beat the games.
yep.
Because then the minute you'd bring them back, there was no guarantee that you were going to get the same cartridge back, right?
You're right. Yeah.
And there was one game, and I forget what it's called. I would have to look at all the games, but it has like a snake on it and like a crystal, and that game required you to have a memory pack. And we just happened to have one, because I think my older brother was the one that was like buying all these things, because he was the saver of the
I should
family.
buy a memory pack. I don't think I own one. I don't
I
think
think
about it.
I might have one lying around somewhere, or I think my parents do. I have to like go see them and
I never
get my
thought about that.
PlayStation 1 back.
A
and be
lot
like,
of games save on the
take this.
cartridge though, so like a lot of times you don't need that.
Mm. Right? But I remember I was never able to beat this game, because you know, this required, because I think I actually didn't have a memory pack.
Mhm.
And I had to try and play it in one go,
Oh yeah.
because I didn't
you
have
couldn't
to I
save,
couldn't
yeah.
save it. Yeah, it was like you have to like, and then, but it was like almost like a point and click puzzle type game, where you'd walk around and you'd look at things, and then, oh, I found this, continue walking, and like, oh, click on this, and like,
Mhm.
oh, and then you use the key to open that.
Yeah.
So that was like a game that I would want to play. Or I always wanted to play Jet Force Gemini.
I've always wanted to play that too.
Yeah,
So
I
it's like-
remember it
it
had
is
the
on-
best trailer.
it is
had the
on,
best trailer.
I think it is on Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Then
I'm gonna
maybe
have
I'll
to
check
get
it out
that.
then.
Yeah, right? I feel like I'll have to actually get that now, and then we
Mm.
can pick some like old school games, because that was like that. I remember that one had the best trailer ever, and I wanted to play it, and I think
Mhm.
I got to play a little bit of it,
I think I
and
was
I hated
interested in
it.
it because of the trailer as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it was hype. But I think I remember playing it and being like, "Oh, it's like a shooting game," and then I kept dying, and I
Yeah,
and I was
third
like,
person
"I
shooter, I
don't
think.
understand." Yeah, and I was like,
Was
"The
that
fuck?"
was
But
that I think that was that also Rare, or was that not Rare that made that game?
I have no idea, bro. I've just learned about these things based on our 20 questions, like like podcast or
I would love to
whatever.
do some sort of like game thing like that for Halloween. Like we
Yeah.
could think of like a Halloween themed kind of game. But that's asking too much though. Like
Yeah.
if we put Wolverine on it, that's
We're
like
like, "Hey,
no.
could you do this?" I feel like we do need to do a like with other people and
Hmm.
just do like instead well, they would have to have like quick questions though, because I feel like
Yeah.
with you and me we can take our time, but if there's like a
Yeah.
bunch of us,
The quicker thing, yeah. But for
yeah.
those that don't know, because we're on a completely different channel, Court and I decided we wanted to play 20 questions, video game edition. And one of our mods took upon the challenge and created a whole spreadsheet of things of like questions and stuff that we can use. So I think we've done 2 streams with it now,
Mhm.
and we have a lot of fun. Just like going through like video game history and just like trying to test our knowledge and see
Yeah.
what we know. I mean, we do have Wikipedia at our disposal,
Yeah.
but it is a lot of fun. But we've been doing that on our personal stream, so not on
Yeah.
Spawn Trap or anything.
Yes. Hey, Tavexo. Heyo.
I was wondering if the chat was working or not because I have a embedded thing open.
Oh.
We should be live streaming on Twitch and YouTube. We don't usually live stream these, but I want to try to get better at live streaming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll try. We also had some technical difficulties. I think those have been worked out. So hopefully the stream is working okay.
Yes.
So we can do that.
It's so far it looks good. It looks good.
We need to talk about the news. I'm just
Yes,
scrolling
let's see.
through. I'm just scrolling through what we posted on the Discord since last time. I remember this
Okay.
headline, and I remember reading the article, and I said it's such a weird story, but I don't remember
Which-
anything about it. So it's back in. I posted it back at the beginning of August. The headline is lawyer to pay Activision for not playing Call of Duty. Judge decrees. I kind of want to read through this because I remember like it was like such an odd story. That I wanted to. I remember I wanted to talk about it, but I can't remember.
There's so much oh my god, all the huge acquisitions and stuff. Holy macaroni.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the
Yeah,
thing
there's
now.
tons of acquisitions. We'll get to that. We'll try to like rapid fire a lot of them because there's so many. Like we said, it's the year of acquisitions.
Yeah.
A lawsuit against. So this is from Kotaku, our favorite.
Our favorite news source. Love
we always
them.
reference them. A lawsuit against Activision Blizzard was dismissed last month because, according to a judge in the Southern California District Court, where the complaint was brought, the plaintiffs didn't play enough Call of Duty Infinite Warfare to make an informed case against the maligned publisher. So I think this is like a somebody sued, like maybe somebody used their likeness, I think it was.
Oh.
Let's see. According to the report, Activision Blizzard was sued in November 2021 by Brooks Entertainment Inc., a California-based company specializing in film and TV production and other forms of entertainment. However, Kotaku couldn't find an official website for the company. Brooks Entertainment and its CEO, Shawn Brooks, who describes himself as an inventor, claim that they hold the trademarks for the financial mobile games Save One Bank and Stock Picker. Okay. It should be noted that Kotaku couldn't verify the existence of these games either. Regardless, all three of these entities, alongside Activision Blizzard and 2016's Infinite Warfare, were at the center of the lawsuit. In 2021, Brooks Entertainment alleged Activision ripped off intellectual property from both Save One Bank and Stock Picker, as well as the identity of its owner in Infinite Warfare. To be more specific, the complaint asserted that the main character for the 2016 first-person shooter, Shawn Brooks, was based on the company's CEO, and that all 3 games had scripted battle scenes that take place in a high-fashion couture shopping center mall. There were other similarities too, but these claims were the crux of the complaint. But if you played just an hour or so of Infinite Warfare, you'd know this is all wrong. For one, the main character isn't Corporal Sean Brooks at all, but rather his squad mate Commander Nick Reyes, a space marine who becomes the captain of the game's primary militia. Moreover, while there is a scripted battle scene in a shopping mall, it takes place in far future Geneva, one of many in-game locations, and Sean Brooks ain't in it. you play as Reyes the entire time. Yeah, so I think the judge just said, like, basically, you clearly haven't played this game.
Yeah,
so, like,
oh my god.
It's such a weird lawsuit.
Yeah, and that's why whenever I see games that pop up with like, oh, if there's any likeness or anything like that, it's just a coincidence. And I'm like, who the fuck did you just base this off of? Like, or just in case, because when you get like real looking characters, you're gonna get like, that's like any cosplayer that's like, well, it's clearly after me because it looks just like me, and it's like, what?
I've seen those before
No.
too. Okay, this part's weird. I don't know if I noticed this last time. The court basically finds, so this is, I think, the judge. The court basically finds the whole argument crazy. Brooks Entertainment even included Rockstar Games for no reason, which didn't help their cause with the judge. Wait, who's saying this?
No.
I'm not too sure who's saying this. Yeah, so they brought up Rockstar Games.
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, this is
What a weird
just
story.
like a dude just being like, well, like, no, I need justice.
Oh, I remember this. So this is another fun one. Remember Koch Media or Koch Media or Koch Media? Nobody can ever pronounce it.
Koch Media.
Yeah,
It's Koch. It's Koch.
They did that.
Just say it.
E3
Just say it. Till
presentation.
just say it.
Koch.
With an H.
They did that. They did that E3 presentation nobody liked a couple years ago. I think I did a solo reaction to that, and I regret it.
Were you just the whole time like, what the fuck?
So they heard that how everybody could never pronounce their name, so they changed it. They changed it because people didn't know how to pronounce it. That's the hilarious thing. That's why they changed it. So they changed their name to, where is it here? Why isn't it at the beginning?
Playon? Playon? No,
yeah. Okay. Plaion.
Why?
So yeah, how do you pronounce that?
Playon? I thought they were gonna call it like.
But your first reaction
like a
was
penis or whatever, like something to do.
Yeah, that's funny. Your first reaction was Plaion.
Plaion.
Yeah.
Or like, I guess it would be like AI. So Plaion.
It's supposed to be Plaion.
Plaion, yeah.
So they changed their name from a name that nobody can pronounce to another name that nobody can pronounce.
Or people are gonna have difficulties. I feel like they're just kind of washing it with like, we understand the proper pronunciation and people are uncomfortable maybe saying this word.
I guess it's another possibility.
Right.
Do you care about the Logitech cloud gaming handheld?
No.
Okay. It is partnered with Tencent Games. That's another reason why I wanted to talk about that. Speaking of Tencent, though, I think we actually got quite a few stories about Tencent. I hate talking about Tencent, but they're
that's like the Assassin's Creed, right?
Yeah, they're such a big, like, they're hard to avoid because they're like one of the, if not the biggest gaming company in the world.
Really?
Yeah. So they're like controlled somewhat, I think, by the Chinese government, and that's why there's like so much controversy around them that nobody in this industry wants to talk about because they own a stake in like every video game company there is, which is why we had the situations like the Blitzchung issue from Blizzard, where the Hearthstone player got banned, the Hong Kong Hearthstone player got banned for saying "Free Hong Kong" on a tournament thing. So this
Yeah, I
this
remember
is
that.
this is why I hate the company, but it's hard to do like any sort of boycott or anything when they own such a iron grip on the industry. They
Interesting.
even like there's even stories. I don't know if we brought them up on the podcast before. There's stories of games getting flat out banned on every platform because they're critical or make fun of in any way anything about the Chinese government, especially the leader. Because there was one game where they joked because he looks like everybody has a joke where he looks like Winnie the Pooh, the way he walks and his shape and everything.
Right.
So there was a joke about that in a game, like a horror game, that was set to come out on it was planned to come out on Steam and everything. Steam blacklisted it. Then it was going to be out on GOG, and then quickly after they announced that they did that hello gamers social media post. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
They started it with like "Good morning gamers" or something like that, and everybody made fun of it. It's like, oh, this is like a manufactured, like this isn't sincere.
Oh.
And they took it down from there, and so they had to self-publish it and distribute it on their own website and everything. So
Oh,
I can't
wow.
remember what the game is. I definitely should play it, especially this time of year, because I feel like it's BS that it was pulled down, because basically Tencent said, hey, take it down or else there's going to be problems. So yeah. But Tencent seeks bigger stake in Assassin's Creed maker Ubisoft. So that headline just doesn't make me happy at all.
Devotion?
Devotion, that's it, yeah.
Yeah. I had to look it up.
Yeah. I know it came out and they had to self-publish on their own website, so it sucks. You're forced into this situation because, you know, a foreign government controls everything.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm. It's the
I'm
same
like,
thing.
what's this game about?
Yeah.
It looks really interesting.
It's the same thing in film and everything too. Like
It's a horror game.
Disney has to like you know, and other studios have to like portray China in like a nice light or something, or have to like modify their movies for release in China and stuff. So
Crazy.
yeah. But yeah, yeah, they're planning on purchasing a bigger stake in Ubisoft.
For
Well, that kind of
Assassin's Creed.
sucks.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think specifically for Assassin's Creed. They put this in the title for some reason.
Yeah,
don't know.
I guess because like people are like, "What's Ubisoft?"
They
And
want
it's
to
like,
become
it's
There's one from IGN here where they label it as Tencent reportedly wants to become Ubisoft's biggest shareholder. That's really scary. They own 5% stake in Ubisoft currently right now. What else we got here? Square Enix is looking to sell more, I guess. Yeah, the Square Enix is looking to sell off stakes in some of its remaining studios. So just to recap, Square Enix sold off Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal, as well as some IP like Tomb Raider and Deus Ex and some other ones.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
they sold Tomb Raider. Yeah,
I think they're trying to get rid of all their entire like Western side of their business, because I think they're looking to sell to somebody and saying like, look how well our Japanese franchises do, and they don't have any of this baggage.
Yeah,
or what they see as baggage.
Kingdom Hearts doing well.
Mm-hmm.
I you know what, I like Kingdom Hearts, and I really should play it, the whole thing. I've played the first one, some of the second one, and but I just don't get it. I just like,
you
I don't
get
understand
Kingdom
this
Hearts?
game. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts.
I've heard some people talk about it, and it sounds very confusing, and I don't understand why.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a game that shouldn't be confusing.
I feel like what like it's difficult. It's I don't even know. That's like I just don't even know how to even explain it. But
I don't think you
it
should.
was a game. It was solely developed where it was I think the people from Final Fantasy, and they were in the elevator with the people from Disney, and they just kind of were like, "Haha, wouldn't it be really funny if we made a game that had like Disney characters and stuff?" They're like, "Oh, that would be sick," and then they just started brainstorming and made this game. That's like paraphrasing it, but that's how it initially happened, and I feel like it was such a huge success
Mhm.
that they're like, we have to keep making more.
Keep
They're like,
making
all
them,
right,
yeah.
how can we make this more intricate? Because obviously it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense, or it made a lot of sense with the Disney characters,
Mhm.
but then it just got to a point where it didn't make sense to keep having the Disney characters in, because a lot of it was just really following around like the Final Fantasy characters of it. And Final Fantasy already has like some pretty deep, intricate like storylines and stuff like that as well. So it was just this huge complicated thing of that. But then they're like, yeah, and this blah blah blah, but we gotta do this. And they're like, what do you mean? They're like, we just have to go to this world where there's Frozen. Okay, like what? And it's
Yeah.
just it's yeah, it's just so confusing. Oh, I
Force
might lose my
story.
mic. I just accidentally clicked the wrong button
Okay.
on my PC. But yeah, so it's just I feel like they should have stopped it at one point, but then they just kept making these little mini games, and because remember the third one came out recently, and it's like, oh, but there's like 6 or 7 games. So
Have you
yeah,
played the
it just
new Disney game that's out on Game Pass?
no.
Hmm.
People keep asking me about it though, but it's like,
You have
because
no
I guess
interest?
it's like, yeah, it's like Animal Crossing meets
Mm,
Disney, I guess,
yeah.
and everyone loves it.
I've seen
But I'm
some
like, no
I've
thanks.
seen some clips from it. I remember there's one clip where he's just like standing around and he hears in the background like Goofy saying, "Oh, that's like a lot of rain or something like that." Or like it's raining pretty heavy, and then he's just like, it's a sunny day, and he's like, no, no, it's not. He like turns around to Goofy, and he's like, Goofy, are you okay?
You're right there, bud. Typical NPC.
I forgot about this, and I'm glad I'm reading it again. There is, let's put this up here. Somebody modded Super Mario 64 to become a first-person horror
What?
game. I definitely need to play this.
Oh my god, how do we get it?
I think, well, the Nintendo Life / Kotaku has an article on it. It's probably taken down by now.
Stamina? Oh my god.
Another princess is in, what's it called? Another princess is in our castle. That's what it's called. And I guess Princess Peach is a ghost.
That eats you?
I guess so.
How do I play this game?
Definitely gonna look up how to play this game, and I will definitely be playing this.
Download?
I love like the little random mods like that. I played a few Mario 64 Halloween mods.
It's free.
Yep. Well, it's a mod, so of course. I don't know if it's a mod or yeah, first person mod, yeah. Yeah, I played some Mario 64 Halloween mods. I will say some of them were pretty fun. Just be on the lookout, because I think some of them were very homophobic and stuff like that. So they put in some really like bad stuff I did not appreciate, and I just had to stop playing. I'm like, well,
what game was this that you played that was homophobic?
It was a mod for it was a Halloween themed mod for Mario 64. So they couldn't just keep it at that. They had to throw in homophobic slurs and stuff like that. So I'm like, well, I'm not playing this mod anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So just be careful.
You're like, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. Just look into the mod before you play it.
I have downloaded it.
It's really okay.
Maybe
I will check it
I'll
out later.
save it for tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Wait,
are we streaming tomorrow?
We are streaming tomorrow on our personal channels.
Okay,
So we'll
cool.
we'll be playing Temtem. This is because I won't be available on Sunday. We usually stream Sundays.
Yeah.
What is this? There's another. I think there's another cancellation.
I'm gonna have to play some Outlast.
I couldn't get into that game.
I just reverse engineer it and I make it so that they can't hurt me, and then I'm okay.
Okay. I got annoyed with that game. I'm like, this game's boring. So,
It's too scary for you?
another game delay. Do you know this game? I just feel
Which
like
one?
I feel like I always have to bring up like all the games have been delayed this year because there's a ton, and all the acquisitions because there's a ton.
Okay, let's
It's called
see.
Arc Raiders. Can't remember what this game is. Arc
Oh.
Raiders is being delayed to 2023.
They just
Is-
delayed another game too.
What, the same
Oh, you
studio?
posted it. It was Lost Signals. Yeah. That was the other one. I was like,
Yeah.
I think you posted it. Yeah.
I think. Oh, this is a space game, so this is probably why.
That's why I don't care about it. Yeah.
What is? I feel like when I shared this, I knew what this game was, and I was like, "Oh, that's a big deal," but I don't remember this game. I'm sorry. But to be fair, all the space games blended together by the end of all the summer showcases. So
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. Even like the Nintendo
Yeah.
Direct, I'm like, is it a farming game?
there's there's been a lot of showcases since we did our podcast. Like,
Yeah.
is there anything that like stood out or that you want to talk about? Because again, like we had so many, they kind of like all blend together, so I forget everything that happened. There's so many.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to think now, because like there wasn't too many that really looked too intriguing. I don't know. It's so hard to tell you because I wrote down the ones that I liked, but I don't think there were any of the farming ones. But
Yeah,
because it's just I played enough Stardew Valley, so
I think that the Nintendo and PlayStation ones, which kind of like wrapped up the showcases for the year, like we might see something from Ubisoft and an Embracer Group sometime this
Yeah.
year, like before the end of the year. But I mean, that's not something to like. Even those showcases, and the Embracer Group one was okay. The Ubisoft one was a letdown. I think the Nintendo and PlayStation ones were kind of letdowns for like what we have left. So it's kind of been
Yeah.
like a lackluster year of showcases. Doesn't help that everything's delayed. I'm reading here also. Midnight Suns was delayed since our last podcast.
I think Forspoken's still delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they keep getting pushed back, and like even we've had people be like, I thought it was out on this day, and it's like, no, it got pushed back. But I guess like I don't know. I feel like after Cyberpunk, everyone is now like, you take your sweet
take
time.
your time.
Take your sweet time.
Yeah.
Like, they're all like, we get it.
Let's talk about some huge acquisition news. And
Yes.
speaking of
Oh my
Embracer
goodness.
Group, Embracer Group's just like, let's just buy everything. So they're acquiring Tripwire Interactive.
Okay, can we just briefly go over who Embracer Group is?
They're
again?
like, let's go to their about section. They're like they're a publisher, but they're kind of like a holding company. I think they like acquire these like
Companies?
they require these like IP or developers that are like abandoned or expired or whatever, and then they just gobble them up and then like port stuff or release new stuff to just try to make money off of nostalgia or
Interesting.
like well-known IP. About Us, here we go. This is probably gonna be like a bunch of legal stuff.
About Embracer.
They're a global group of entrepreneurial
You got this.
or
Entrepreneurial.
businesses in the gaming and entertainment industry. Through our decentralized operating model, we provide entrepreneurs and teams with the resources they need to succeed and unleash their full potential. Our growing ecosystem creates synergies through shared knowledge and collaboration. We believe that the more diverse we are, the stronger we will become. Did that answer your question, Court?
Yeah. So basically, they just kind of like suck up all the little people and be
Yeah.
like, "You're ours now." Oh, look it! It's Play On.
It's Play On, yeah. These are the, the things that they own.
Dark Horse Media. Yeah, I remember us reading about that one.
Yeah.
Deca.
Deca. I think that's that might be one of the stories that we have. But let's go back to, I went too far. So they enter into agreement to acquire Tripwire Interactive. I think they make some well-known games. I'm most familiar with Tripwire for the game Killing Floor, which I'll probably be playing and streaming sometime this month. But I think they're also well known this year for their former CEO going on a very public stance against abortion and then having to step down. So
sorry,
being forced to step down. But yeah, so now
against abortion. I get so confused. I'm like, so they're on our side, but I'm like, wait a minute.
I try to avoid saying pro-life because that's not what it is. So
it's anti-body rights.
Pro-choice, anti-abortion. That's what I say.
Yeah.
That's how I try to remember how to say it. I think that's the more accurate statement, right?
Yeah.
Also, this one's fucking weird. Embracer Group enters into agreement to acquire the IP rights to The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit literary works by J.R.R. Tolkien.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay, yes, I remember hearing about this too. And it's like, sorry, what?
That's like so out of the blue. That's like when they acquired or they went to acquire Dark Horse Comics. Like that's such a weird...
I feel like this is a company where they're kind of like that person that walks into an art gallery and they just like but they don't have a home to put the art in, but they buy it anyway.
I mean, they're doing stuff with this.
Yeah.
With this stuff. I mean, I think they're the ones that hold. Let's go back. They're the ones that have Deep Silver and was it this page? Embracer Group does Deep Silver, right?
I guess I can kind of see their business thing, or at least like how I'm kind of understanding it, where it's like, say for example, you own a place and you have a really decent amount of space that you don't really intend on using the whole amount, and you have some really awesome equipment because you're able to buy it, and you're like, oh, but I don't really know how to do any of this like stuff to utilize these things. So how about we bring people in so they can work here? Oh, that'd be really cool. We just make a percentage of what they make. So they like kind of buy them out in a way. And they're like, but you can use all of these assets and stuff that we already have.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of cool. That's like if I was like a really good writer, but I didn't have a good space to write in. And then someone was like, oh, like I'll publish you and then you can use my space to write in.
I'm pretty sure.
But I would just make
I'm pretty sure Deep Silver is under Embracer Group too, because THQ Nordic is here, and I remember that there was like sister companies or something. So I'm surprised it's not listed, but I know that, like for example, like when I get excited about stuff like this is, when they're actually acquiring stuff and doing stuff with it. One of my favorite franchises from like games I played a lot as a kid is Time Splitters, and that game has such a rough history, and like the developers Free Radical, and they like it's now in a home now where they're doing something with it. So Embracer Group acquired that IP. They heard the internet cry, and unlike Crytek, who originally acquired Free Radical and did nothing with them, they're like, okay, if people actually want a Time Splitters game, let's make a Time Splitters game. So yeah, so now they're actually doing something with it. So I'm excited that we're finally getting something that's coming back since the GameCube days. That's the last time we heard about it.
What is Time Splitter again?
It's back.
I feel like
back. It was the original game. The first game was a launch title for the PS2, and then the next two games were still in that console generation, but it was multi-platform. But yeah, there's 3 games in the series, and then
okay.
It just they were going to make a 4th one. The company went under. Crytek acquired them, had them work on Homefront and some other things, but there was like some poor treatment of the workers in the development studios. They did like they just like walked off the site and like
Is that
stopped working.
Morpheus?
What?
I'm just looking at the character and he has like he
Oh
just
no,
looks like
yeah, it's a parody of Vin Diesel. The reason why they did that is because the publishers wouldn't, at the time, publishers wouldn't accept the game. It was too far out there of a concept of having like just a ton of wacky and crazy characters being a comedy game as a shooter. And it wasn't a big seller. And publishers wouldn't take it. They're like, you have to like force a main story into this game, and like I think this is why EA took it. EA published the later two games at least. Like, yeah, we need you to make a main character on the box art that people will recognize. And Vin Diesel is a big name in Hollywood right now. You got to make him look like Vin Diesel.
Oh my god.
So that's where that character comes from. There's also, we're not done with Embracer Group. They like I said, they're acquiring everything. They're acquiring limited run games. It's a huge one. So, do you know what limited run games are? We actually did some reaction videos to their showcases.
Oh, okay. What what are some games?
They publish physical games. I think there's sometimes they do digital, but they primarily focus on physical games.
Physical is still a thing, Till. Get with the times. It's still a thing.
So they I think they're most known for taking digital games and publishing them in a physical platform. But their thing is usually it's a limited run. So like they do like collector things, so you have to like purchase them at a limited time.
So kind of like Bayonetta, like it came out today, but it was actually like a physical one for Switch. Or are you just saying like games that just came out like digitally, like for example,
I can't think
Eastward
of an example on my head, but like you know like indie games are released digitally.
Their model forever physical.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, they want to make sure that everybody buys physical games. So let's say like there's an indie game that gets released digitally because that's how they publish it. And what if the eShop goes down and that game's lost forever? So limited run games is like, hey, let's make a physical copy of your game so that way it can live forever.
Yeah. So, man, they need to do like all these farming games that came out for the Switch. I was like, where's Fantasy Life? Where's Fantasy Life? I'm like, that was such a good game. Where the fuck is Fantasy Life?
Embracer Group acquires Tuxedo Labs. Court, unlike everything else, don't ask me what Tuxedo Labs is, because I have no idea.
What do you mean? It's where they make tuxedos.
Revolutionary technology that opens up vast possibilities for emergent gameplay and user-created content. Is this a developer or some sort of tech?
Yeah. Obviously a tech if they make tuxedos.
A 6-team members led by whoever, a highly technical visionary. Okay. Oh yeah, it is a developer because they made Teardown.
Interesting.
Okay. They've also acquired, or in agreement to acquire, Singtrix. An award-winning creator of industry-leading vocal processing effects technology for karaoke, gaming, and entertainment.
Oh. Is it like what was Rock Band Guitar Hero? Singer Hero? Is that a thing?
There's a few of them. There's SingStar is like the big one I remember, which I don't think is a thing anymore.
I remember playing that and just sitting there going,
Also, they're creating their 11th operating group, Free Mode. So they have a new publisher, Free Mode.
Interesting.
So Embracer Group is busy.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot.
Just acquiring things left and right. No big deal.
What else have we got on the list here that you want to talk about?
Hi, Kiri.
Oh, Kiri's here. What's up?
There was the Nintendo of America's testers say they faced years of sexual harassment.
Do I still have that link? Oh,
Yes.
that was like way before. Did we not talk about that?
No. Because I think I was the one who posted that one. Hello, Kiri.
I posted a link for
Oh, you did?
that.
And I went dum dum dum. So, female game testers at Nintendo had frat house experiences within a gaming company known for its wholesome image. How dare. Yeah, so basically 2 years ago, a contract game tester named Hannah, not her real name, had a harrowing experience that led her to quit her dream job at Nintendo of America after nearly
Keep in
a
mind,
decade.
this story isn't actually Nintendo. It is
Yeah, it's
a testing group that works with Nintendo
yeah.
or something
So
like that.
several employees had created a group chat on Nintendo's Microsoft Teams server called the Laughing Zone. It was supposed to be a lighthearted place for coworkers to share memes with one another. That changed when a male translator was added to the group. Soon he posted Reddit screenshots about why Vaporeon was the best Pokemon to have sex with. Hannah was disgusted by the explicit image or descriptions. With the conversation turned to Genshin Impact, the translator posted a GIF of Paimon, a child character in the game. He posted about
Jeez.
how it's okay to be sexually attracted to Paimon despite the character's childlike appearance, voice, and personality. Hannah screenshotted the sexual comments and attempted to escalate the situation to Aerotech, the staffing company she was contracted under while working at the Redmond, Washington headquarters. Nintendo was almost like a nightmare. It's sad because I love Nintendo. I grew up with Nintendo. I was so excited to join Nintendo when I first got there, and I thought I was going somewhere. I had my supervisors telling me I was doing such a good job by reporting the instant she was set off a chain of events that led her to quit her job testing Nintendo games. Can I do that? Can I test Nintendo games?
Yeah.
Now I'm just imagining Wario and Lucario doing a beer pong and Yoshi doing the upside down beer keg chug.
That's why I was laughing.
Nintendo is not the only company that uses contract labor to test games, but it is one of the most profitable. Corporate responsibility report showed that the net blah blah blah, blah. Stuff.
Stuff.
Stuff. The problem was that the women were being underrepresented among contractors and also not often hired into full-time roles. And that's like so the biggest thing again with like group chats, and I do feel that being in a job, like I would hate to know if my staff had a group chat that I wasn't included in. I would just prefer to not ever know it existed because it just creates a lot of like, it kind of makes you feel left out. It makes you feel like they're like talking behind your back. It makes you feel
Mhm.
like, it just kind of it's not really good in the morale sense. And I remember I got invited into a Discord group with like the cool kids of the team when I was just an associate, and it was fine, but I just like and then but we had people that weren't with the company anymore, and they would just sit there and shit talk the people that we were working with that weren't in the group. And I was like, I didn't realize this was just a shit talking server where like you call and you didn't like the service and then you just go to us and you're like, oh my god, who is this? Blah blah blah. Like it's like it's so high school and petty, and I'm like, I like what's the point of this? Like, or even to have a chat, yeah, where you can send memes and stuff like that. And this is where that stuff will happen where it gets inappropriate as long and like or it gets off of topic than just sending memes to one another and it being harmless and everything.
Yeah.
So like as much as like it would be great to have that where you can be with your staff and like send memes, but then it's it's also bad. So
Well, you can't monitor it for sure.
yeah, exactly, right. And that's why with my company, they're like, no, you're not allowed. Like you can't have it. Like I can't even have a group chat if I'm on a conference
Better to
call.
just not do it.
Yeah, exactly, right. Because I didn't know that, and then I was like, yeah, it just makes it easier because then if there's three of us and we can collab ideas. And they were like, no, you guys aren't allowed to have a group. And I was like, but this makes it easier to converse and stuff. I'll delete it after we're done. Like, but I understand, like
Yeah.
because yeah, it would be an issue. So, and that it's like it's supposed to be fun. It's like but it doesn't end up being fun. I've never seen anyone actually like work out to its own like advantage or whatever. But yeah, so anyway, so Hannah claimed that Aerotech management warned her to be less outspoken after she reported the incident. She said that her friends from the work group chat blamed her for reporting the incident, and that only repercussions that the translator faced was being assigned sexual assault or sexual harassment training. Aerotech had previously fired one of its contractors for making comments about the color of Hannah's underwear, but the translator who made the sexual comments in the group chat was a full-time Nintendo employee. So working for the
Oh,
Nintendo meant the third-party contracting company
I didn't
couldn't
realize
terminate its
that.
employment. What?
Jeez. So
Yeah. Right. Working for Nintendo
interesting.
meant the third-party contracting company couldn't terminate his employment. Which, like, again, this is where like a lot of like contract stuff, like shit fucking happens where people, and it's like a loophole in a way.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
I was,
It
I was,
really
I
does
was, I was
suck.
gonna like reiterate the fact that this wasn't Nintendo because it's
Yeah.
like a outsourced testing thing. But
Mhm.
no, if a fucking Nintendo employee made those comments and
Yeah. Yeah, was a full-time Nintendo employee. Yeah. Nintendo staff is its testing departments were with temporary employees from the contracting company. Aerotech now recognizes Ashton Carter. Uh, Multiple labor lawsuits filed against in the past years. Aerotech has been embroiled in controversies of discriminatory business practices. Just last year, the Equal Employment Opportunity forced the company to pay 3.3 million. Blah 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 blah. Damn. First
when
and
you're
foremost, there's
when
no
you're
discrimination here.
when you're Nintendo and you have to, like, your whole company is reliant on a specific type of image, I feel like you need to get other testers. You need to outsource somewhere else because this is not a
Yeah.
good look.
Yeah, she said Hannah felt that Aerotech's responses was unsatisfactory, and she had endured enough inappropriate incidents during her decade-long tenure working working on Nintendo products. She quit her job because she felt like her workplace did not adequately protect her from sexual inappropriate behavior from men. According to past and present women, present female employees who work on Nintendo games, there were many others who felt that Redmond, Washington office had a problem with treating women with respect.
Yeah,
I'm just like, oh, jeez.
rough one.
Yeah. Yeah. Your chance of being converted to full time was probably worse as a girl. Yeah. So, yeah. Good to know.
Want to talk movies?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, it's not the one that you're expecting. PlayStation is working on another movie. Or I don't know if
No.
PlayStation's working on it, but there's going to be a movie based on Gravity Rush.
Oh,
You know what Gravity Rush is?
no.
I feel like I've heard that game, but why is there a movie being based off of this? Out of all things.
Yeah. Out of all things you could make a movie from.
I don't know. There's some other movie news I'm sure we'll get to here.
I mean, it is a good market to go into but you have to do it right, because I've
Yeah.
seen so many of these things be terrible.
I think we're gonna start seeing the video game movie / TV series renaissance, and I think
Yeah.
The Last of
Now
Us.
that
I mean, nobody's talking about how because when you bring up video game movies, people are like, it doesn't work. Look at Doom. Look at Mario Brothers movie. It's just
but
it never works.
those were awful.
Why is my cursor being captured on your
because if you're
webcam?
putting it over Discord, then
Oh, just Discord in general?
yeah,
because
because
I'm not over the video chat. I'm in the Discord chat, and I'm like, wait, what am I doing? Why am I?
yeah, if you're in the Discord and because
Okay.
it's just screen capping me,
Got you.
so that's why. Come
me-
on, Till, you're supposed to be the tech
Yeah, I know.
person.
But it's just weird because I'm not on the same window. But I can fix this. I can click capture cursor. There we go. Not there anymore. Yeah. There's another big thing in the news happening. It's with Xbox's acquisition of Activision Blizzard, because it seems like they're coming across some problems and it might not happen. So one of the things, so Xbox's Phil Spencer sees progress toward Activision deal. Gaming chief also hopes for fewer exclusive titles, more interoperability among consoles in the future. Says he feels good about the progress they've been making. But I go into the process supportive of people who maybe aren't as close to the gaming industry, asking for good hard questions about what is our intent. So they're in a big like legal battle, not just in the US, but like they have to like handle this everywhere where their like
Phil
games are sold,
Spencer.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And PlayStation's not really playing nice with Xbox because, you know, they're worried about where Call of Duty's gonna go. I think I have a link somewhere in the Discord that I can post here. But basically, they're in this big back and forth where PlayStation's like, oh yeah, right here. So this is like the follow up. So like Phil Spencer's like, oh yeah, we're hopeful that we can work with everything. PlayStation's like, Xbox's Call of Duty offer was inadequate on many levels. Saying he was asked a question about this. He said, "Where's the full quote?" He's like, "Yeah, I hadn't intended to comment on what I understood to be a private business discussion, but I feel the need to set the record straight because Phil Spencer brought this into the public forum. Microsoft has only offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends. After almost 20 years of Call of Duty on PlayStation, their proposal was inadequate on many levels and failed to take account of the impact on our gamers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's proposal undermines this principle."
Wow.
What do you think of that?
Pretty saucy.
It seems
I
that
mean,
way.
pardon?
It seems that way.
Yeah. It's like, you know what this reminds me of? Remember back in the day when punk bands used to make a song about another dude's girlfriend but they were dating another guy in a punk band, and then they would have a rebuttal song, and it was this like just really weird feud. I feel like this is what's happening. It's like,
I guess that's a weird
when
way
it
to sum
comes
it all up.
yeah, I just feel like it's very like, you know, yeah, it's just
My
I feel
response
like
is deal with
what's your
it,
response?
PlayStation.
Yeah,
Like it's
right?
like I feel like what they're offering is a pretty standard, like, okay, we'll give you the next 3 years. They shouldn't be obligated to do any more than that. I think even that's kind of generous. It's, you know,
Yeah.
why I mean they're acquiring the franchise. They should be able to do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
But they're like acting in good faith. Hey, here's 3 years. Maybe we'll also keep it multi-platform because some of their games they put multi-platform. But really, it's not like Call of Duty isn't like, I get it's the like one of the biggest games out there. But I mean, you're PlayStation. You're top dog right now. Like,
Yeah.
everybody thinking like Xbox is gonna have a monopoly because they own Call of Duty. And
Like,
they're
no.
just gonna be like, yeah, now we're like the biggest platform on the planet now. I'm pretty sure Xbox is still they're in third, right? Like they're in third place
Yeah.
in
Nintendo's
general
number one.
in terms of sales. Like they're not doing bad. They still
Yeah.
exist. They're still profitable. But
But they're third out of 3.
yeah. like I don't know. I feel like people are blowing this way out of proportion, Sony included.
Mhm.
And and they're just clapping back and forth. But Sony, the comments here are like, Okay, so PlayStation, but deal with it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
this
right.
is what you have to deal with. I don't think Xbox has any sort of obligation to be like, oh well, I guess we can share Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what it's going to come down to is like with these agreements and stuff like that. Like, there's got to be because now
Mhm.
that they're acquiring all these different things, people
Yeah.
are like, oh, well, like what's going to have what on each system? But it's like obviously they're going to make contracts to have them on
Yeah.
the different consoles and
Well,
stuff. It's not you're not monopolizing it by just
yeah.
being like, haha, we have Call of Duty now. Like,
Yeah, but like here's an example: PlayStation acquiring another studio. They acquired well, I'm zoomed way the hell in. It was probably okay. They acquired Savage Game Studios. There you go. And this isn't the only thing. Like they've been acquiring studios like left and right this year.
yeah,
Like they're not like they shouldn't be saying like Xbox is the only one doing this. They're just making a big deal out of it because it's Call of Duty.
yeah.
Um
Should we? It's like what, almost an hour and a half right now.
yeah, I want to talk about the big thing, the Rockstar
What's
leak.
Yes, I was gonna say. I'm like, do you want to go to that?
Yeah. By the way, chat, I see you. Because we do the podcast, we don't. We just don't focus on the chat. I'm not signed into
Yeah,
Twitter,
I'll
so I
just
might
I'll
not
say
even
hi,
be
but
able
yeah.
to. I might not even be able to see this. Okay. Yeah, Rockstar Games suffered a network intrusion, in which an unauthorized third party illegally accessed and downloaded confidential information from their systems, including early development footage of the next Grand Theft Auto. At this time, we do not anticipate any disruption of our live game services, nor any long-term effect on the development of our ongoing products. Basically, somebody hacked into Rockstar and
Yeah.
leaked a bunch of early development assets from all that, and they leaked it out onto the internet. People are going crazy online because for some
Yeah.
reason they're like, "Oh, this game looks like crap," and
And it's like,
it's
no
like, yeah, they're
shit.
they're working on it. Like this is all
Yeah,
early access stuff.
right. That's like that. I hate that when they're like, oh, it looks like crap. I'm like, no shit. Like, obviously, it's gonna look like crap. Um, but I think it's like it's part of me's like, I know who it is. It's that guy that went onto the talk show. He
Yeah,
finally got
yeah.
his wish.
Where's
It's
GTA
him.
6?
It's him. It was him the whole time.
Uh,
Give me 2 seconds till I just have to run to the washroom.
okay.
Hold
I
on.
will,
I'm like, I can't hold it anymore.
I
Hold
will
on.
provide here. Yeah, we'll talk about an update once Court cuts back. I will talk about some fun stuff in between. First of all, what do we got here? We were speaking about Tencent earlier. And I think this is a crazy story. Shawn Layden from PlayStation. Remember Shawn Layden? He's now joining Tencent. And I read that story and I'm like, oh, gross. Why? Drama. There's always drama on this podcast. We're always talking about drama. As reported by GI.biz, the former chairman of Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios, now PlayStation Studios, announced on LinkedIn that he joined Tencent last month to help the company navigate the gaming space. I feel like they don't need help with that. In this new role, I hope to advise, assist, and support the team at Tencent as they deepen their activities and commitments within the industry to which I've devoted the majority of my career. We are at an epoch-defining moment in gaming and interactive entertainment. There are many possible roads ahead, but only a few are profound, broadening, inclusive. Oh, he's just throwing out words now. He's just throwing out words. Tencent's also a studio that acquires a bunch of other
I want to know drama.
things. Yeah, it's the former PlayStation chairman is now joining Tencent.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what my thought was. Yeah, I feel like if PlayStation has anything to worry about, it's not Xbox, it's Tencent. Like they're a bigger deal than both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get back to the GTA stuff here. There's an
Oh
update.
yes. Where's the update?
Suspected GTA 6 leaker pleads not guilty on hacking charges. There's an update. So yeah, they caught this person. He's a teenager. I think he's 17 years old.
Oh my god! How did a seven? Oh my
Allegedly.
god!
How did a
Gets
17?
hired at a
London
a
City
fir-
Police announced that they had arrested a 17-year-old from Oxfordshire Thursday evening. This was, I think, a little while ago. While the police have yet to confirm why, it's been reported that the teen was arrested in connection with the recent Uber and Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks. I didn't even look into the Uber stuff. And
Interesting.
I saw somebody.
Arrested.
Yeah, I saw somebody make a comment. I don't know. Oh, because I clicked on it. Someone made a comment that this tweet was very much looks like it's in the style of GTA, and it's just from the City of London Police.
Yeah.
Like it could say like wasted
Instead
on
of
it.
wasted,
Yeah.
it says arrested.
Arrested.
Maybe that's what they intended. They're like, we gotta.
Where's
we
the
gotta
update here? Update a few days ago. Today it was reported by Bloomberg that the alleged teen hacker possibly connected to the massive and recent Grand Theft Auto 6 leak appeared in a specialist youth court in London. The 17-year-old denied using his phone as a tool to gain access to Rockstar's private files and servers. Last week, the teen was charged with 2 counts of breach of bail conditions and 2 counts of misuse of a computer. Prosecution alleges that the teenager was hacking companies like Microsoft and Uber and then holding them to ransom. The judge in the case has referred to it to a higher court where it'll be heard at a later date.
So this kid was just bad news bears.
Well,
I was gonna
so
say,
he's
like,
denying it. So
yeah.
reporter Matthew Keys claims sources have told him the boy was indeed involved.
Yeah. His mom told me so. Yeah, I that's the thing. I like that's some talent. That is like, you know, when he gets out of jail,
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Hey, do you want to work for the company to like make sure we don't get hacked?"
Yeah, I mean, companies do that. Like when
Yeah.
people hack them. I mean, there's like people do that for legitimate reasons. Like, hey, there's a breach, and I think you should know about it. And they end up like hiring them to like, can you make sure everything's on our end is secure?
Yeah.
That's not too out of the ordinary, but he actually like leaked all this stuff to the internet, so that's not cool.
I didn't see any of it.
You didn't see it?
I
I've seen a little bit of it.
No, I didn't see any of it.
I-
I feel like I just was like,
The great thing
blind
is
to it 'cause-
the gaming industry rallied behind them, and they're like, here's what the early access for or the early development for our games look like. I think the notable one is Control, because it looked like the most similar in terms of like how bad it looked in early development to how great it looks today.
yeah.
So it's like everybody was doing that. Even Nintendo, I think they're posting. Well, I don't think Nintendo did it specifically. I think there was like a preview thing from an event that somebody took for Breath of the Wild, which was a top-down 2D traditional Zelda style look at the game, and then
Yeah.
it turned into what it is today. So yeah, it's because people were arguing incorrectly online that the design and the visuals of a game is the first to be finished, and that is far from the case. It's the complete opposite of that. So yeah, don't judge GTA 6 based on the leaks, because that has nothing to do with where the game's gonna end up being.
Yeah, I think I would totally play GTA 6.
Oh, you
I haven't
should.
played any of the other ones, but
Yeah,
except for the
th-
third one for PS2, because that one was a gem. But I never did any of the missions or anything like that because I didn't like shooting people.
Mhm.
I like beating them with a bat, but like when it came to shooting people, it was like I was terrible at aim. But I think
Yeah.
now that games are really great, and I've played shooting games, like third-person shooting games, they're a little bit easier for me to handle. And I would obviously play it on PC, because I think that would just be the easiest way. Because even I've never played a first-person shooter before, but I played Cyberpunk and I loved like Cyberpunk. Loved it.
Yeah,
I would
which
just
is I think it's similar in sort of gameplay and everything to GTA, from what I
yeah,
understand.
right.
I'm not a big Grand Theft Auto person. I never really played the story modes. I got
You just
hooked
played online,
on
right?
I just got hooked on online because I saw like I didn't realize I was never a fan of GTA. I didn't realize GTA 4 got released with a multiplayer component that looked fun as hell. And by the time I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I need to try this game out, they're like, hey, GTA 5's coming out. And I'm like, I'm just going to jump into GTA 5. And
Yeah.
I've been playing it on 3 series of platforms. It's like one of the biggest selling games ever.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun to play online with friends for sure. So yeah, GTA
Yeah.
6, looking forward to it. I want to do some like quick stuff here. Like
Okay.
glance over it.
Just like
I can't remember. There's a
snappy snap.
message from 2K support. I can't remember if this is in relation to the Grand Theft Auto thing. Please read an important message from our customer service team. Oh shit! Wait! What is this? So they had some sort of breach. Why is everything so slow on Twitter? Like it's just Twitter. On Firefox, it's so weird. Earlier today, we became aware of an unauthorized third party illegally accessed the credentials of one of our vendors to the help desk platform that 2K uses to provide support to our customers. The unauthorized party sent communication to certain players containing a malicious link. Please do not open any emails or click on any links that you receive from 2K Games support account. If you have already clicked on this link, we recommend immediately taking the following steps out of an abundance of caution. So basically reset password and all that stuff.
Oh no.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That a company like 2K got hacked like that.
I mean, that's the thing. Like hacking is like such a big thing these days. Like everyone's learning computer science. Everyone
Mhm.
like basically kind of knows what to do, but it also kind of opens up a lot of like vulnerability with yourself if you're trying to hack someone. Like I feel like I would never be able to hack anything because I have an online presence. Obviously not a huge one.
Yeah.
I'm no fucking famous person, but you know, if I had started off anonymous and never gotten a Facebook, never gotten any social media, then that's when you could basically be anonymous and stuff. But
I
it's just
follow. You know, I'm not gonna get into that. Or what are you doing on October 6th at 4 p.m. Eastern?
what day is that?
It is on a Thursday.
October 6th, Thursday
Yeah.
at 4 p.m. Streaming.
Oh. Will you be streaming the reaction to the Mario trailer that's going to be at that time?
Ooh, if it's at 4 p.m., I could probably do it before I start my stream. Ooh, I can see how awful it is.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I want
I
to
can't wait
see.
to see Mario.
I hope they do some sort of voice. I want to hear Chris Pratt's wahoo.
Mamma mia. Ah, spaghetti.
I can't wait. This
Oh,
is
that's
going to be
gonna be
exciting.
Oh god. Yeah, right. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how bad it's gonna be.
Yeah, I like bad or good. I'm excited for the movie. The
Mhm.
cast list alone, it's like I have to see this movie.
Yeah. Like Jack Black is Bowser,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Jack Black is
So good.
Bowser, Chris Pratt is
You know he's
Mario,
gonna be great.
Charlie Day is
Yeah.
Luigi. Oh my god, I can't remember some of the other ones. It's Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Forgot
Oh my
about
god. Oh my
that.
goodness.
There's
I'm down for that.
have you been seeing like this huge surge in developers experiencing just like a flood of online harassment lately and
In what
like death
way?
threats and stuff? I've been seeing like this is the year publishers and developers are like, we've had enough. We're taking action. We're sick of this shit. We don't want it to happen anymore, and so we're cutting it out here. So Respawn recently posted We have seen increased harassment towards members of our development team. We welcome community input. However, the line between constructive feedback and the harassment of our dev team cannot be crossed. We want to remind our players that we have a zero tolerance policy for threats and the harassment of our developers. We will take appropriate action to ensure the health and safety of our team. We love hearing feedback and will continue to work alongside our community to foster a respectful, collaborative environment and uphold the competitive integrity of our game. I've been seeing this a lot from like PlayStation Studios,
Yeah,
and
like Santa Monica Studios with Elena Pierce.
Yeah,
as
just
well.
everywhere, and I am all for it. I'm like, it's about damn time the industry stood up together and said, "Hey, this is not a normal thing that people do. You shouldn't think it's normal to harass our developers." And it's insane because like a couple years ago, I remember someone from ArenaNet, just as an example. First of all, I thought her statements online were kind of like they kind of went above, like, hey, you shouldn't be posting that as a response. but to be fair, in her defense, she seemed like she thought she was defending her like being a developer, a woman in video game development and everything, from somebody she thought was harassing or mansplaining or something to her. Which, if you read the response, I don't know what your opinion is. If you go back that far, her name is Jessica Price.
I feel like we might have talked about this before. I think
it was like
it's
before Spawn Trap.
Yeah, well, I know it's like sometimes I feel that people get really defensive that they don't I don't think they quite understand like the intention
Like,
behind someone's words.
I'll bring up like the summary, like it's not going to be word for word, but she posted something like, here's like my experience and whatever, and then this guy's like, oh, I like your interesting theory or whatever. He's like, my take on it is like this, whatever, and then she kind of went off the rails in the response, and the internet saw that like as an attack, and they just went after her and her employer, and they fired her and one of the employees that was defending her. And it was crazy. Like I do think she went a little bit overboard, but I don't think she should have been fired for it. And the consequences of her being fired led other people in the industry saying this sets a precedent for online harassment and trolls, saying like, hey, if we grab our pitchforks and our torches and we harass people enough, we can get our way and like attack any woman in the industry. That's what happened.
Okay.
Like that's why we're seeing an increase of that stuff, because these people are emboldened to do so, because we haven't seen developers and publishers stand up for their employees like this before. And I think like doing this, like standing unified, hey, we're not going to take shit from people harassing the people who work on the games that you play. It's not right to send them death threats and sexual harassment and stuff like that. So we're going to put an end to it. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take appropriate action, and we're going to make it so that you're discouraged from doing stuff like this again.
Like don't even bother, because we're like, and I think that's good, because I think there's a lot of power in being behind a screen on the internet nowadays.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, but it's one of those things where like people, I feel like people just take a lot of things out of context too. And it's just, they shouldn't, I don't know. It just like, to me, like cancel culture, like I think we've discussed this before, but there's a time and a place, but then it's like, it's no good if you're like harassing these people that are making these games for you just because you think your opinion's totally valid. Sure. But like, that doesn't mean that it's right. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that people think like, no, my opinion's valid and right. It's like, no, that's not how, no, it's an opinion. And it's this huge like controversy where people are just they're putting out stuff, and then it's like someone just thinks that like, yeah, their opinion matters, and they like, it's like, if my thing is, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say it at all.
Mhm.
Because what influence, or what are you really getting out of that?
Yeah,
Like,
telling
does it
people
make you
like
feel good? It's all about you. Like, when you say bad things,
we saw
it's
that
all
with
about you
the
just
Last
like
of
felt
Us,
like,
right? Like
pardon?
people hated some of the decisions, or I guess in The Last of Us Part 2. So they threatened like the voice actors and the developers of that game because the game didn't turn out the way that they wanted it to.
Yeah, and that's
Again,
not
what
appropriate.
are you getting out of that?
Yeah, that's exactly, like, it's not like, what would you like them to just bow down and do whatever you want because you felt that way? But okay, sure, join the team, and then you can get shit on from someone else who didn't like the way you did it.
Can you
It's
imagine
just,
doing that to any other business or industry where you're like, I don't like this. I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like,
yeah,
and I'm gonna threaten your whole family. Like,
yeah,
that's not
because
a normal thing to do.
yeah, it's just, there's a lot of power sitting behind a keyboard and
Mhm.
a screen, and yeah, it's good to see these companies kind of be like, yeah, no, we're not taking that shit.
Yeah.
I feel like me as a company, like, if I had my own thing and I did something, you know, like, and then someone was like, this is wrong, blah, 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 I'd be like, first I'd be like, okay, like, how, like, what's your point? But then if it's not, I wouldn't even respond to that person. I would
I feel
just
like they have to
like,
now. They're
yeah,
being
but
forced to respond.
I think that's the issue nowadays, is that because everything's online, everything like needs a reply or a comment, or like, and that's like, but then it almost fuels those people because they're just kind of doing it to get the attention.
Yeah.
So if anything, if someone was like, I didn't agree because blah blah blah, I wouldn't even respond to them.
Kiri is
I would just
absolutely
continue
right.
about my day.
Freedom of speech is not freedom
Freedom of
of
consequence,
consequences.
exactly.
Um,
So
speaking of consequences, um, for some reason, the U.S. Homeland Security is spending over $700,000 to investigate radicalization through video games. The
what?
work will first when I misread the headline for this because how many times have we seen um governments or like any sort of agency or group trying to look into how video games cause violence and stuff like that, and it's such a waste of time. This is different though. This is Homeland Security spending money. By the way, this would be your tax dollars if you're
Yeah.
American. So I don't know how it's interesting. If you want to share your thoughts on how you feel about this, I'd be interested
Yeah.
to know. So let me know in the comments. But this is it's investigating radicalization through video games. The initial work will, quote, lean towards white nationalism and white supremacy. That is, I was blown away. I'm like, I would not have thought that would happen. Over the past is who's saying this? Hold on.
Oh, so they're doing it
They're
to
trying to
see if
fight
it's
terrorism and white supremacy. That like people who
oh,
get radicalized to those groups through video games. It says a quote here: "Over the past decade, video games have increasingly become focal points for social activity and identity creation for adolescents and young adults. Relationships made and fostered with game ecosystems routinely cross over into the real world and are impactful parts of local communities." That is very true. Correspondingly, extremists have used video games and targeted video game communities for activities ranging from propaganda creation to terrorist mobilization and training. I would never have thought that. One of the goals of the new project is to develop a set of best practices and centralized resources for monitoring and evaluation of extremist activities, as well as a series of training workshops for the monitoring, detection, and prevention of extremist exploitation in gaming spaces for community managers, multiplayer designers, lore developers, mechanics designers, and trust and safety professionals. I
interesting.
I think publishers and like platform holders are also kind of self-monitoring and handling this as well, like without the government
Yeah.
getting involved. Whenever the government's
Yeah.
involved in video games, it has me concerned because
Yeah.
traditionally not so great. That's why we have
Yeah.
the ES. That's why the ESRB exists, to keep the government
Yeah.
out of video games. So that kind of has me concerned. But it's. I think it's in a good mindset.
Yeah, it's yeah, I can see it being it's kind of for a good purpose, and so
Yeah.
but I'm like how?
I feel like, and I'm sure this exists because there is that section of these people that are like, that gather around gaming as a, as a, I guess a through line, like they have that sort of familiarity with each other. That's how they meet.
Yeah.
I would say like online spaces that aren't monitored like this, in this sort of way, like 4chan and Discord and all that other stuff. I usually find that those are the places, and a
The
lot of other similar
community,
places
yeah,
are
it's not
where
video
these
games.
activities meet.
Yeah. Yeah. And because that's
Reddit.
like, that's why I left the one Discord, and because there was like going to be, I like basically people had to ask me to get the 18 plus role.
Mhm,
And I just kind of said, I'm not comfortable with that unless this person shows me a physical piece of ID.
mhm,
But even then, when it's a photo, it's considered fraud. And okay, how do we do this? And I made a forum where it was like, basically said, I so and so am joining so and so's community, and I do not hold this person responsible if I have lied about my age. And then basically saying that like I am like confirming that my age is this and this and this. And if I had lied about it, then I do not hold the community responsible. And we had, and I was like, get them to sign this or to do this, because in that way it can be a little bit more controlled. But I just said, this is a weird route that it's going down. And it's like, especially with, when you go into Discords and they're like, no, like, like you can do not safe for work, but then they're like, oh, but like, what's the line though?
yeah.
And I'm like, just don't fucking post weird ass fucking shit. Like, like stuff that's illegal, you know? like, I feel like there is a line, and it is a huge gray area, but yeah, it's
Mm.
like it's not regulated. It's not like you can post anything. You can't even really delete photos. I remember my friend like sent like he's like, "Oh, I'm talking to this girl. Like, look at what she sent me." And sent me like a full blown naked photo of this person,
Mm.
and they looked younger than they were saying they were, and I was like, "Do not
Oh
send that shit." I was like,
no.
yeah," and they were like, "Oh no, they're this old," and I was like, "I don't care. I don't want to see that." Like just like, and I remember I couldn't delete it, and I was like, "Oh my god, undo the internet!" like,
Yeah, it's
and
bad.
it's just like, yeah, and it's like, and like, but that's the thing is that like I under like video games are video games, but they need to be looking at these communities and stuff like that, and to kind of be watching that, because that's where, yeah, like that's where that shit, like, yeah.
Couple quick things. I don't want to focus. One, yes, Stadia is closing down.
Hmm.
I shared my thoughts on my personal Twitter.
Yeah.
I think it was a great service, for like the tech, and I'm thinking like, apparently GeForce Now already does it, but I was pitching like, hey, this would be huge for Steam, where it's, especially with the Steam Deck, like having, if they were to like work with Valve on implementing Stadia's tech for Steam, so that way rather than having to download a game or anything, you just stream it through, a service like Stadia. Like if it's a subscription model for, Steam, to be able to access your games from anywhere without having to install them. Don't have room on your Steam Deck or whatever. But it's a shame because I don't think anything really is that similar to Stadia. So and I think the controller is going to become, the controller I have, I think it's going to become a paperweight because it connects through Wi-Fi. You need the Stadia app to pair it, and I have to pair it like every time I use it.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a
So
way
you
to
can't
pair
just
it.
use the controller. It's not
I
like
think
just
maybe I can plug it in USB-C and it gets recognized, but wireless, no, I think it just becomes a paperweight at that point.
yeah.
So that's interesting. E3 is coming back, or so they say. I don't.
Yes, excellent, excellent.
Maybe.
Can't wait.
If it comes back, I think we're going to, definitively say now we're focusing on the major publishers for reaction streams. We're not going to be covering everything. We can't do that again.
Yeah.
It's been rough the past couple times we've done it. And
Yeah.
then also there's another Skull and Bones and Oxenfree 2 have been delayed, it looks like.
Yes.
So even more delays. But what I want to focus on is for the rest of the podcast here is PlayStation and their dumb move.
More dumb
the
moves. Is
dumb
that the
decision.
Stars loyalty program?
Well, first of all,
Currently offer better customer service as a reward, bro. Oh, that okay. Sony exec.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Don't worry. Sony exec reiterates PlayStation believes in premium releases first, PS Plus later. We've mentioned this before on the podcast, I think. I don't get why, because the selling point of Game Pass is that, hey, first party Microsoft games, you're gonna play them day one on Game Pass. And that library is growing bigger because, as PlayStation argues in court, they're afraid of losing Call of Duty. Hey, you know what would help with that? Releasing your first-party games day and date on PlayStation Plus.
Yep.
More people would subscribe.
Yep. Like, why are they like such sticklers on that? Like, I wonder if it's again like a contract thing and that they can't. But it's like
I think they're more traditional. They're more traditional company. I mean, they're making modern moves and they're much more, progressive in terms of like where video games are at right now compared to Nintendo.
Yeah.
But even still, they're like, oh no, this is a AAA game. We want to sell it. We want to make sure that we sell the most out of this game. Whereas Xbox is realizing, hey, the money's through subscriptions. We'll take the hit on people not buying outright the game because they're going to continuously pay every month and forget about it to play all the games, not just that game. So I don't think Sony sees that value right now. They're going to do it one day. There's going to be a big game where we're like, you know what, this is the game we're going to launch on PlayStation Plus. And then they're going to see how much of an impact that changes. And then they're going to be like, okay, well, maybe we'll just do this for all the games.
Hopefully. I mean, again, it's one of those things where people always, it's like they need to be changing this, but like I don't know, they're still doing fine. When does it end? Inflation is happening now.
Also, PlayStation Stars is not what we thought it was. Remember last time we talked about it? It was it was like a loyalty program, like Nintendo, My Nintendo, or the Xbox rewards thing, or Microsoft Rewards. So I think that's what they originally pitched it as. Then it quickly turned over to, hey, we're gonna give you NFTs.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh no, I don't care about PlayStation Stars then if it's just all about NFTs. And now the other thing is that I think I have 2 posts for this. Yeah, so I guess I posted an IGN article and the PlayStation blog article. But yeah, part of the PlayStation Stars loyalty program is you will get better customer service.
There you have it, everyone. You sick and tired of being frustrated on the phone with your customer service representative when you just want help? Well, play more games, get more stars.
I don't know how they think like
what's it? Yeah.
A selling point is, hey, you're mad about our service, we'll pay us more money and then you can complain about it.
Oh my goodness.
When contacting PlayStation customer support, this is translated from their from Automation Japan. What? Anyways, when contacting PlayStation customer support, you will be given priority in the chat order, which is insane. Insane. What? You have to pay more to get help faster?
Yep.
I don't know how you would think that's a good idea.
You know what, Sony, you do you. It's working out for you so far. You do you.
So I think this is gonna, the PlayStation Stars thing is gonna backfire. Hold on, IGN has a link here in
Definitely not
brackets
an NFT.
yeah, they're definitely not NFTs. Hold on. PlayStation Stars rewards definitely not NFTs, Sony says. No, definitely not. Sony has clarified that the new PlayStation Stars loyalty program will not reward members with NFTs. Speaking to the Washington Post, Vice President of Network Advertising, Loyalty, and Licensed Merchandise, Grace Chen, made clear that the digital collectibles on offer were absolutely not related to the controversial non-fungible tokens. It's definitely not NFTs. Definitely not, Chen said. You can't trade them or sell them. It is not leveraging any blockchain technologies and definitely not NFTs.
Like, how many times did he really have to really say that?
For completing campaigns like playing a PlayStation game, winning tournaments, or being the first person to unlock a platinum trophy, players will earn points they can spend in a rewards catalog. This will include PSN wallet funds. Well, that's a good thing though. PSN wallet funds, and other PlayStation Store products. That's good too. But but also these new digital collectibles. That's not good. The description Sony offered did make them sound a little like NFTs, as it called them.
I love this article.
Yeah, digital representations of things PlayStation fans enjoy, including figurines of beloved and iconic characters from games and other forms of entertainment, as well as cherished devices that tap into Sony's history of innovation. This reminds me of the Avatar phase from from 2 generations ago, the Xbox 360 era, where both PS3 and Xbox were like monetizing off like ways that you can customize your avatar. Sometimes there was like limited edition things that you can get, but for the most part, I think they were widely accessible from anyone, and it was just a purchase, like a digital purchase for a digital aesthetic thing. Which I guess you might argue NFTs are similar or the same in that regards. But I don't know, like, are these like collectibles they're doing? Is it digital collectibles, or is it just like an avatar situation, or
it's because their Tatakus don't sell, so they make it. No, I'm just kidding. So they're making a digital version of it.
I think
it Tataku? Is Tataku Sony, or is that?
I don't know what that is.
Or is that a GameStop thing?
I don't know.
I remember it was just these figures like amiibos, and they just don't sell.
Yeah. I think I remember PlayStation figures. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's always like the Tomb Raider one and stuff.
Well, I think it's good. Like the part of it that they're not focusing on, because obviously they want to monetize off selling you nothing. which is what these like digital things are. Like, just buy this like little figurine or whatever that you can't do anything with.
If you were given like your own little character with a house that you could decorate the house with these things that you could buy, totally.
That's what PlayStation Home was, and that they shut that down.
What the heck?
That's on the PS3. You have your like avatar and you walk around these digital spaces and stuff. I don't think that's what this is. I think they're selling you like little collectible nothings. I think that the bigger benefit, which I imagine they'll be like, no, let's shut this down because we want people to buy these not NFTs, is the PSN wallet funds and PlayStation Store products. So you can actually spend them towards things you can use, like games, or actual products that you can buy and hold. Like their store products. So but I feel like that's a side thing they're not focusing on, that nobody's talking about, because all anybody's talking about right now are these definitely not NFTs.
I can't wait for these not NFTs to come out.
Kiri, but they're not real. That's the thing.
Anyways. All right. We've hit the 2-hour mark. Oof.
Yep. We're all done on our gaming chat. Thanks for everybody in the chat keeping us
Yeah.
like my Figma figures. We
Yeah, hanging out. Thanks, guys, for
yeah.
coming out.
To be honest, okay, I just recorded a Hip Pause MCU podcast with some fine folks earlier. We tried to live stream it. It didn't work. This one has been live streamed. I feel like this is, even though we recorded this later, it's gonna come out like on the usual platforms and everything.
Yeah.
After, or I mean before the Marvel one.
Yeah.
So look forward to
Nice.
the Marvel one. So yeah, you're seeing this and listening to this first, and then we're gonna have a Hit Pause MCU podcast coming out soon after this, whenever this is out, talking about things like a lot of cast or director and writer stuff for a lot of upcoming movies, including Blade and Fantastic Four and all that. We talked
Yes.
through Marvel's new horror project called Werewolf by Night, which is starting next week. So I'm excited for that. So if you want to hear us talk about nerdy Marvel stuff, look forward to that soon. And we will be streaming. Me and Court will be streaming Temtem tomorrow night.
Yes.
So if you want to show up to
Woohoo.
Court, how would you describe Temtem?
Temtem is better than Pokemon.
Pokemon, but better.
Pokemon, but better. Yes, the co-op's a lot better. Just the writing's a lot better in it as well. The characters aren't bland, and everyone's super fun, and you get to see everyone running around and starting their journeys and stuff. So great.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it.
Ouch. Valid.
Anyways, we will see you in the next one. If you want to hear us talk about something specific on this podcast, please let me know in the comments. I will be checking YouTube comments more often. I honestly don't know if like podcast services have comments and stuff. I'd probably look into that.
Yeah.
but yes, thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. So again, thanks for joining me, Court. We'll see you next time.
Bye.